Hello, here's a tutorial probably not many people asked for, but I'm gonna do it anyway because I think it's super cool on how I did my Harry's House album cover, but with me instead of Harry. And I'm not gonna do any screen recording because that is too much work. So I'm just gonna show you with my back camera. The first thing I did, I downloaded a high quality image off of Google Images. This was like just the first one that came up. And then I downloaded literally like the first object remover app that I could find. I've never used one of these, but like it was too much work for me to try and go and remove Harry myself. Actually worked really well. Bit by bit I was able to remove him. I wanted to keep a little bit of this shadow there so I like knew where to place myself. Then I went and found a picture of myself from kind of like the same angle that Harry is in this photo. And if you can find an image of yourself with like kind of similar lighting or just like a blank slate of like light on you, that'll make it a lot easier. Might not make sense, but I hope it does in a second. After that, I imported my removed image into Procreate, and then I added myself in. Now this kind of took a little bit of time, like placing myself where I wanted to go. I placed it over the shadow a little bit, and I kept a layer here of Harry so that I could kind of, you know, place myself in a similar height, size kind of range. Then after that, I went in and just like edited and messed around with like curves and color balance and whatnot to try and give myself a color that matches the rest of the photo. That way it looks more natural. It doesn't look like I literally photoshopped myself in there, even though I did, but that's not what we're going for. You guys know that. Then I went in with a soft airbrush after creating a new layer. And then I took colors from like the light curtains and like the colors of like the shadows on the album to paint highlights and shadows onto myself. And then it ended up looking like this. If I could go back and do it again, I'd probably use like one of the oil pastels because I look very airbrushed and like painted, which is cool, but like I wish it looked a little more natural. And when I was pulling colors, some of the colors I pulled from natural highlights and shadows on my image already, but I lowered the opacity for the brush so that it just looked more like natural highlights and shadows. And I'm gonna do another like before and after of the highlights and shadows just so you guys can see because I think it's super cool and I did a really good job. The trickiest part was working around highlights and shadows on my face and upper body because as you can see, Harry has some interesting ones around his face and upper body as well. And I wanted to match that as best as I could with my own image. But that's my tutorial on how I made my own Harry's House cover. I hope you guys enjoy.